What's good, everybody? Today we're talking about something that's very near and dear to my heart. Shavkat is the best welterweight in the UFC outside of Islam Makhachev, and it's not close. He finishes Garry if he isn't injured. He beats Prates. He slimes Usman. He slimes Morales. He beats JDM by decision. Shout out JDM. As we all know, he's out of the rankings with an injury. He's indefinitely out, but I have faith in my boy. I know he will return, alright? Today we're going to be going over what's next for Shavkat and rank the matchups from the least sense to the most sense. Let's get right into it. First, Shavkat versus Islam. Now I can't lie. I'm a really big Kazakhstan glazer, but I cannot justify Shavkat coming back and fighting Islam after being inactive for so long, alright? No matter how much I glaze this man, I cannot justify this. This kind of feels like a Movsar Evloev at featherweight situation, where he's been the number one contender forever, but he hasn't gotten to fight the champ. Be it for fucking, JDM had to challenge, had to let Islam challenge him. Fucking, Bilal was supposed to fight Shavkat, and then he got injured. So then JDM stepped in. It's just been a situation where Shavkat's gotten jumped repeatedly in his career, and now he's been inactive for so long that we can't justify a title shot. So yeah, man, even though I am the biggest Kazakhstan glazer on YouTube, certified, I can't justify this matchup, alright? Next, another very unlikely matchup, I believe, is the winner of JDM and Prates. Now, this is a banger fight. If this would come to fruition, I don't care if it's JDM, I don't care if it's Prates, this would be fire, bruh. The winner of that fight, though, the issue is that they're probably gonna get the next title shot. Unless fucking Usman jumps. Oh my god, I swear to fucking god if Usman jumps either of these guys and gets in that. Next it should be Islam Ilya, because that fight is fire. We need to see it. It has to be like an exhibition fight, The winner of this fight, maybe, and then Garry. That should be the order of the matchup. But Jesus Christ, bro. Usman, I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there. The Usman camp, the Islam camp. I know they have the same manager and Ali Abdelaziz. Do not let Usman jump these guys. Don't let Usman fucking jump Garry. He's ranked 7th. He's 1-3 in his last 4. Just please, I feel like I shouldn't have to say it. We shouldn't have to argue this, bruh. Next, Garry versus Shavkat 2. The reason I had this Garry rematch as more likely than the JDM Prates winner is because I could see it happening circumstantially, alright? This is what I mean. If we get Islam versus Ilya magically, if that happens, that would be amazing. Or Islam is supposed to fight Ian, but then, Islam gets injured, and then JDM Prates happens, and that fight ends spectacularly. I could see the winner of that fight jumping Garry, even though it's not his fault and he was supposed to get a title shot. And in that situation, or the Ilya Makhachev situation, I could see Garry being I want to stay active. I have a loss over Shavkat. Let me get it back, He wanted to get his loss back. And of course he wouldn't, because Shavkat would slime him out, like he did the first time, even better. But yeah, man, I could see this rematch happening only in those specific circumstances. Ilya comes to fight Islam. Gary's supposed to fight Islam, but then one of the two gets injured. And then Carlos Prates, JDM winner, steps up. And then, yeah, this fight could happen. Would I want it to happen? I don't know. I'd rather have another name on Shavkat's resume, because that win's already good enough for him, right? It would be cool, though, if he came back and finished Garry, and now he'd basically have a 100% finish rate again, because the guy that he beat by decision, he also finished. I don't know. That would be fire. Next, more likely than Garry is Miles Morales. Now, it's still unlikely. Anything below the top 2 slides on this list that I have, anything below the top 2 most likely options, is pretty unlikely. Now, why is this unlikely? The UFC wants this guy to fight for a belt. They want Morales to fight for a belt. He's a big star. There were talks of Islam Morales right after he beat Sean Brady, which I think is way too soon, because this division is super stacked. And yeah, man, in this fight, it would low-key be fire, because these are 2 of the biggest lanky linkers, lanky lanksters in the division. Miles Morales is huge. Shavkat's super huge and long, big paws. And yeah, man, this fight would be fire. Honestly, I do think Shavkat would beat the zest out of Morales. I don't really see this going any other way. I'm pretty sure he'd be able to take him down, single leg him, fucking body lock up to taking the bag up against the fence, hit him with the standing racism choke like he did to Jeff Neal. I don't know. I feel like Shavkat would just dominate Morales, but maybe Morales likes that, so who knows? Maybe he'll accept the fight, right? Next, Belal. Now, this fight was supposed to happen ages ago, or what feels like ages ago, when he was supposed to get the title shot against Belal, right? And then, you know, Shavkat got injured. Big surprise. This seems to be the trend in his career, right? And then, yeah, JDM stepped in, won the belt, changed the whole UFC timeline, right? If JDM had not won against Belal, we'd still have Islam at lightweight, probably fighting Ilya now. Like, that's crazy to think about. But yeah, man, I don't think the UFC wants Shavkat versus Belal because Belal might genuinely neutralize any excitement of this matchup, all right? It's like, this is the... This is the battle of it's like, okay, it's like if Atomic Bomb or Hydrogen Bomb and Coughing Baby were on equal terms. You know what I mean? Like, this is Shavkat's like amazing excitement. Like, he's the unstoppable force. He's super exciting. All of his fights are nice to watch. You know, maybe the Ian Garry rematch was the first Ian Garry fight was a little weird, but because he was injured, right? So that's the unstoppable force, and then Belal's the immovable object. You're gonna fight with him, it's more likely going to be boring than not. JDM was able to make it exciting. Ian Garry wasn't. Fucking Leon Edwards wasn't. No one else was. So, I don't know, man. I think this would be also like kind of a punishment fight for both fighters because Belal's going to get murdered by Shavkat. And then Shavkat's going to come back and kind of get punished because no one's really going to care if he gets a win over Belal. I don't see it as being something... I mean, he is a former champion. You know, he's really good. I can't say Belal's not good at the sport, right? But, you know, it's not really like a huge win. So this seems kind of like a punishment, right? But yeah, man, this is the third most likely option. Now, on to the second most likely option for Shavkat's return. Shavkat versus someone in the top 10, bro. Speaking of punishments, I think, unfortunately, this is the second most likely option because someone outside the top 5 is going to get matched up with Shavkat, bro. I fucking hate the idea of this, you know. Sean Brady, Usman, Edwards, Buckley. One of these guys, I think the UFC would see it as like a good warm-up fight. He's been, you know, Shavkat's been inactive for a while. And it would be like a way to get him reintroduced to the fans. Reintroduce it, some hype, you know, into his career. Because, you know, Shavkat was very hyped. You guys remember the Shavkat discourse around the Ian Garry fight. When he was supposed to fight Belal. The fucking edits are nasty. But yeah, man. I think he wins all of these matchups. And since I am a Glazer, I don't hate that. You know, I'm like, alright, maybe give him those matchups if he wins them. But man, like, I don't really want to see it. I'd rather see him against someone higher ranked, someone in the top 10. You know, Sean Brady win wouldn't do that much for his career. Usman win, people would just say Usman's washed. Leon Edwards fucking washed, and he has a bald spot, alright? And Buckley, he's just not that good. And we saw that the Buck wrestling is, you know, it's lacking, and that's where Shavkat would get him. I mean, we are going to see a Buckley versus Brady, so maybe that fight will change our minds. Maybe, you know, the winner of that fight would be a little more justified. Maybe they end up getting ranked top 5. Who knows? But yeah, man, Shavkat versus the top 10, that's a pretty likely option, all right? And on to the most likely option. Shavkat versus the loser of JDM and Prates. Timeline-wise, it would match up. So whoever wins, I think it's a couple weekends from now. Whoever wins, whoever loses, they're going to be recovering. And in that time, it'll be maybe 4 months, 5 months, you know, the typical fighter recovery time. It could match up with whatever Shavkat's, you know, return timeline injury is, right? I don't know if it's a knee thing, I'm not sure. But 5 to 6 months from now, given how long he's already been out, I could see these guys matching up recovery-wise. Then, another reason, both of these guys are also top 5. So feeding Shavkat to either of them, like, it would make more sense than feeding someone to Shavkat to someone in the top 10 or fucking D-Rod ranked 15th, you know, in the welterweight division. And yeah, the last reason is this is a banger matchup, bro. This is Shavkat versus JDM, banger. What? Shavkat versus Prates, banger, bro. Like, Shavkat in that fight, you know, I do love him, but I would have to admit, like, he would be outmatched on the feet. Both JDM and Prates are better than Shavkat on the feet. However, Shavkat is a way better MMA fighter than these guys. I'd love to see, honestly, we've seen Shavkat be a little chinny, so that Prates matchup would be interesting, you know. Make it a 5-rounder, that would be cinema. And that JDM fight, I think, would be the coolest fight of all. Shavkat versus JDM, bro. That would be nasty. Just imagine the boxing on the feet. Fucking Shavkat, who doesn't know how to move his head, getting tagged up and then grabbing a single leg. pushing JDM up against the fence. We see JDM pull out some Craig Jones shit. But that would be fire, bro. Like, this matchup is literally heat. And it would make sense, alright? Because the loser of this fight would not be up next for the title shot. I think even if JDM wins this fight, he won't be up next because he just lost to Islam, right? But, you know, Prates wins, he'd probably be up there. There's a big, like, logjam at the top of the division, and that's a good thing, honestly. I'd rather have that than the heavyweights where there's no contenders. But there's a lot of good contenders right now. And look at Shavkat, bro. He's not even in the UFC, and he's really a contender if you think about it. So, yeah, man, banger matchup. No matter who gets this fight, whether it's fucking Prates or JDM, give me this fight. Give me Shavkat in his return. Shavkat, please come back, all right? Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think of the Shavkat situation in the UFC? Will he come back? Will he not? What is the injury? I'm not even sure what the injury is. How long is it going to take for him to recover? Who should he fight when he comes back? Should he just get a title shot? Hear me out. Nah. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go to the library, alright? Ciao.